Hey, we are back for another review of All the Queen's Men. Please forgive the background. You know, it's holiday season. You know, it's crumb snatchers taking over the studio upstairs. So it's a lot going on. So I'm just going to give y'all the video while I can because shit's getting hectic around here. So I just want to give it to y'all. Ain't no ring lights. You'll just listen to me. Don't pay attention to the scenery. Either way, let's jump right into it. We're on season 4, episode 6, entitled Gas Face. And so we pick back up with the concierge taking his drugs back off of the street. He has somehow been able to line up a buyer that's going to buy his stock off him. What he has on hand is going to buy that off of him. And so his friend, his homeboy, whoever that was standing next to him was like, hey, are you not worried that people are going to die? Because the buyer is going to buy it, repackage it, you know, and send it back out to the street. So are you not worried about that? He was like, listen, as long as my insignia, as long as my logo is not associated with that bad batch, I'm not worried. We're just not even going to worry about it. And so in the midst of him doing that, Madam calls just to kind of give him a little gimme gotcha, like, yeah, checkmate. I'm on your ass, pretty much. Just letting him know, like, hey, I'm not done with you yet. I'm still coming for your head. Okay, Madam is talking to both of her sisters, Tony and Carla, and Tony is, they're saying like, hey, you know, why are you back? What's your real motive? And of course, she's not giving them any information. And Carla is like, yeah, you didn't even come to Dad's funeral. And she's like, and I'm glad I didn't because, you know, from what I heard, the funeral got shot up because of Madam's shady business dealings. So, hey, I might have did myself a favor by not showing up. Okay, you got that one. You did your big one on that one. Either way, Tony is trying to rub it in their face that their mama, they don't have the same mama, they all have the same dad, right? Well, her mama was their dad's bottom B, right? And so, you know, her mom received a little more special treatment than some of the other women in their dad's life. And so they're rubbing that in. And of course, the girl, the Carla and Madam could care less about that. Their gripe with Tony is the fact that she sold their dad out. She talked to the feds. She was the one that dimed him out. And so, you know, ain't no coming back from snitching on your daddy. So we're just not. We don't have nothing to talk to you about. We don't want to kick it with you. They don't want to do nothing. And Carla tells her, like, listen, you don't even deserve Maddie B's. Like, you ain't show up. You ain't mess with us. You're a snitch. You don't need it. Anyway, Tony claims like, hey, I'm just here, you know, for what's rightfully mine and to potentially salvage a relationship with my sisters. But since y'all want to be nasty, we could just remain friends. And so that is where they leave the conversation. I'm sure it'll come back up, but no actual real resolve in the scene. Okay. Blue is back at the psychotherapist's office, and she told the therapist that she is a sniper by trade. That is her job description. And she tells her how much she is ecstatic when she's talking about the thrill of tracking somebody down a couple of days to get a clean hit on them and everything that she does for a living, and that she enjoys the thrill of being a sniper. Okay, so she becomes a little bit unraveled when she has to relive what happened to her friend in Afghanistan as far as the explosion. And she's talking and she's telling us that, you know, his arm landed on her leg. You know, basically he was blown to smithereens, for lack of a better term. And so that is a triggering event for her. And so the psychotherapist is like, hey, Blue, like, I need to kind of pinpoint what event in your recent employment took you back to your previous employment, you know, those incidents. And she told the psychotherapist that it was an accident at work that brought those memories up. And then the therapist is like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but you're not giving me enough to work with. And you basically tells her like, hey, none of this is going to work if you won't fully participate. You won't fully give me what I need in order to help you out. Kind of describes it as going to the doctor and telling the doctor to kind of guess what your ailment is and how to help you. So we'll see if Blue kind of opens up a little bit more to the psychotherapist, you know, by way of metaphor or however she needs to in order to get back to a good place. So, you know, I really want that for my girl Blue. All right, Doc is down at the precinct and he is flirting with some lady at the front desk. With some girl at the front desk. She is pretty much geeked out at the little bit of minute attention and compliments that Doc has bestowed upon her. And he, so much so, he invites her out to lunch. She says, listen, I can't because everybody else is on vacation. Of course, that's recon for him to know, like, hey, she's the only person working in this department. It's going to be easy to get her guard down, get in here and, you know, get that shirt. And he tells her, like, hey, I'll pay, you know, drinks on me. I work down at Eden. I'm working there to pay my way through school, which, sir, that's a lot. Either way, he's working down at Club Eden and he's going to convince her to come down and have a couple of drinks and get a little bit of entertainment and rub up on his chest, child, because she's now hot and bothered. So of course she's going to be the weak link to help him get in to get that shirt unknowingly. All right, so the attorney goes to see Madam, and he came with news about her trial. It seems that they already have a trial date set for her, and he's going to try to do everything he can to push that date back and stall and everything else, which it's very quick. Like they moving very, now they want to give due process and speedy trial. It's given now we want to hurry up and get her convicted. And so this shirt is going to be pertinent that we get the shirt out of the way, get all that done. All right, so Madam, she asked Tommy, like, hey, what's the status of my medication? Like, I ain't got no more, and I'm coming up. What's up? And he's like, however, unfortunately, we're unable to find a doctor because Dr. Fong wasn't the only one aware of, the issues with the DA. So basically, she's been kind of blackballed as a customer. They kind of have her in the system as a potential abuser because she fills her prescriptions so often, and so now nobody maybe in that county and within that network is going to fill her prescription. So in the meantime, if they can find somebody that's going to be that's going to break the law and help her get her medication, Tommy went to the doctor and told him that he has anxiety, depression, backache, every illness he can, a bunch of different doctors, just to amass a lot of medication so that she can use that, find something among the stack to use in the meantime. She's able to find something, so crisis averted for now, but she's going to have to get some long-term care at some point. All right, we see Trouble, and she is high as a kite. She's been popping mollies, trying to wash away her pains and what she had to do to Champ. And then we see her, like, she is all over Rayshawn, asking him, like, hey, why you not speaking to me? Why didn't you speak to me? Like, touching all on him, being very much aggressive and, just trying to figure out what's going on. He was like, girl, I don't know if you Dr. Jekyll or Mrs. Hyde, because you were just telling me to stop talking to you. So what is it that you need from me? And so she's making him highly uncomfortable, highly uncomfortable. She tells him, like, hey, I'm on a little bit of Molly. He's like, oh, okay, that explains your behavior. And she's like, oh, you want something? He's like, no. And she was like, no, it's not really drugs. It just makes you feel good. And he was like, yeah, all drugs do that. I'm not doing that. And so, Rayshawn is very uncomfortable, and Trouble is kind of falling off the rails with trying to cope with what she feels like she had to do to Champ. So that's going to be interesting, because I don't know if she knows it or not, but you don't have that many more chances with Madam. So your time's running thin. You're wearing real thin with this whole thing, but we'll go through it. All right. Doc has, in fact, convinced the receptionist to come down to Eden, and she shows up, and of course she's almost like a church girl in a whorehouse. She's so uncomfortable, she's so out of place. Don't know why she even showed up. But he's like, hey, let your hair down, relax. I'll go get you a drink. Drinks on me. What are you drinking? She's drinking a white wine spritzer. Girl, I don't even know what that is. Either way, he goes over to the bartender to get the drink for her, and you see him spike the drink. With all these witnesses around, either way, he spikes the drink. And we see after she's taken whatever he's slipped her, that she's freaking out and trying to get somebody to help her. And everybody's just kind of looking at her like she's just the weird drunk lady that showed up at the club. And she's just running all around. You see where she deteriorates as the night goes on. And she's just running around looking crazy. And Madam looks at her like, girl, you need to calm down or I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And she's like, no, everybody get down. They're coming in. We're going to all have to get on the floor. And then she does this as a countdown. And Madam just punches her and knocks her out so that we can move on with what we need to move on with. Like, girl, get her out of here. Get her home. It's a wrap. So whatever Doc was attempting to do, I don't know if he was trying to knock her out so that she could be unconscious long enough for him to go in the precinct to get what he needs. But that doesn't make sense because she's off duty with her being there. I don't know what that was, or if he was going to take like some compromising photos like they tend to do here, like get them drunk and put them in compromising positions and take photos to kind of blackmail them to get what they want. That's a more feasible idea, but Doc didn't have time because he has his own thing that he has going on right now as far as being unconscious, but we'll talk about that later on in the episode. All right. Trouble is still showing out. Like, she is snatching drinks out of people's hands and downing them. And she was like, oh, I'll make it up to you later. Like, just being annoying, being high and being annoying as hell. So much so that Madam is catching up with her like, oh, I'm so sorry that she's acting like this. The drinks are on me for the rest of the night. And then, pulls her to the side. She tells me, girl, go ahead and go home. Go ahead and head out. And she's like, well, what you talking about, madam? She's like, yeah, you're suspended. And she's like, well, for how long? Until I said so. Until I got good and goddamn ready to bring you back. And she was like, well, madam, you know, I'm still making up that money for when I was missing. Basically, when you locked my ass in the basement, I wasn't making no money. I still need to make up for that deficit. So what you talking about suspended? And that's not my problem. You should have thought about that when you was popping mollies, acting like a goddamn fool in my club. And so now she has gotten herself suspended indefinitely. All right. Dime is on stage and she's introducing the men of Eden as she does in every other episode. You know, are you guys ready to get hot and heavy and blah, 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 blah. And she calls the men out and the men don't show up. They do not show up. And Blue goes on a manhunt to figure out what the hell is going on. Where are the men of Eden? Why are we not present? She goes to see what the problem is and they are all passed out from some mystery gas that has seeped into the room. And it appears that this gas is localized and it's only in the VIP lounge. So everybody that was in there is currently unconscious. And that includes all the VIP men. That includes, it also includes the fluffer. So the fluffer is someone that comes in and gets them all prepared to present their best self to the ladies. She is a lady that comes in to service all the men to get them ready to perform for the larger crowd. Okay? She's been on staff for a while. Everybody knows and loves her, uses her services from time to time. Okay, either way, everyone in there is unconscious. And so she tells Dime, hey, you need to go ahead and put the amateurs on stage for the time being. We got a situation. Just keep it going so there's not a riot in the club. And then Blue rushes to get Tommy and Madam so we can rectify the situation. Quincy's looking like, okay, this is my time to shine. Quincy rushes out to the main stage. He was like, listen, I'm going to get my money. Rachel was like, well, what you doing? He's like, y'all sitting here, I'm finna go get me. He rushes out to the stage and he's going to go get all the money he can get, you know, as an amateur until, you know, the men of Eden can be found and we get that figured out. So very, very smart move because, hey, I know that these are money makers and I know that the big tippers were looking for the men of Eden. So let me go ahead and get a little bit of this money while the opportunity is there. All right. Trouble is going through Quincy's locker because she was in there like crashing out like, how dare madam suspend me after all I did for her. Very much entitled after what I did for her. And then she sees that Quincy's locker is unlocked. So I guess he rushed out to the main stage so quickly he didn't lock his locker. And she's like, because she knows that he's a thief, right? Either way, by way of, I think she was the one that caught him stealing Babyface's underwear. So she was like, let me look in this locker. He better not have nothing that belongs to me. Like she's just, anybody can get it at this point. So she looks in the locker and she opens it. And she sees this sort of shrine to Babyface. Quincy has pictures of Babyface from previous performances and years ago, and it's given like he has been stalking Babyface for quite some time. Just very much weird energy, but again, I kind of want to chalk it up to him being a plant because remember, there was a lawyer lady that Babyface was using as a sugar mama that ended up falling over a balcony by way of tripping, as well as him pushing her, type of accidental death. And so that may be something that's also being investigated simultaneously. Because we know pretty much all of the men that are VIP have some kind of blood on their hands, so to speak. So I'm assuming that Quincy is a plant to kind of get information and evidence on Babyface, but I don't know. The little shrine thing is giving a little bit more weirder, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Meanwhile, the men of Eden, they're coming to their faculties. They've been moved outside to get some fresh air. Everybody's kind of throwing up whatever that chemical is, kind of getting it out of the system. And of course, we know it was a targeted attack by a concierge. So we got to deal with that. And then we see Tommy. He has, I don't know her name, but he has the fluffer girl in his arms. And he's running over to Madam and he's giving her CPR. And he's doing all he can to revive that lady. Maybe she's taking the brunt of whatever this gas is. It's done something to her system. However, it has gotten the best of her and she is no longer with us. She has passed away, performing her services here at Club Eden. And so now we got to deal with yet another body, yet another issue that we got to resolve. Okay, so, Madam was talking to the guys. She's like, y'all got it all out of your system. Y'all good? Y'all want to go home? Like, how you feeling? Everybody's assuring her, like, I'm good, Madam. We can press forward. And she's like, okay, good. Get back on that stage because I do not want to riot in my club. go out there and perform. We'll talk about this a little later. So the Men of Eden, of course, have to go back out there on stage and perform after everything that they just went through, right? And that's exactly what they do. They close for the evening, and Madam, calls a quick little meeting just to let the Men of Eden know, like, hey, this won't be happening again. We got a maintenance man coming in to fix the leak. She's just chalking it up to a gas leak, right? It's not going to happen again. Thank y'all for being flexible and doing what you got to do. Appreciate you. Have a good night, right? We see people cashing out what they had. Of course, it was a slow night, a slower night for the main stage men because they were incapacitated during prime time, right? So they didn't make as much as they could. Quincy went out there as an amateur and stood in the gap, and it looks like Quincy brought in a great deal of money, so much so that they compared him to Babyface. Dom's like, oh, you brought in even more money than Babyface. We're just going to assume that Babyface is someone that brings in a high dollar value every night, right? And so now Babyface is in his feelings. He's like, yeah, because we were, you can't tell the people that aren't in the circle were happy. He's like, yeah, whatever. It was just a slow night. So now there's going to be a little competition, I'm sure that comes to Quincy and Babyface. If Quincy doesn't kidnap him and use him as a sex slave first. Like it's giving that type of weird ass energy, but we'll see. All right, Carla goes to Tony and she's like, listen, Madam might have bought your crap, but I need to know, like, why are you here? What's tea? What's going on? And she was like, it's got to be more than you just wanting the restaurant. Like, it don't make sense. Like, you've been gone for 10 years. You ain't wanted nothing to do with us. What's going on? And so she's trying to play this whole life is short angle. I want to get my family back together. And Carla's like, yeah, but life was also short 10 years ago when you did all you did, as far as snitching and diming us out and whatever else. So, again, why are you here? So she's going to play that angle, and then she begs Carla, like, hey, just talk to Madam for me. Like, I really want to mend my relationship with my sisters. And Carla's like, girl, no, I'm not doing that. Like, Madam ain't my favorite person, but you're less favorable to me than her. Like, I really hate your guts, like, type shit. Like, I don't fool with you. I'm not asking Madam a damn thing on your account. And whatever you got something going on up under your sleeves, I'm going to find out. Just keep it cute. So after Carla walks away, we see Miss Tony making a phone call, and she's talking to us about it. She was like, listen, I ran into a couple obstacles, a few obstacles that we anticipated. However, Madam is going to be out of the way very soon, and you're going to get more than what you deserve and more than what you asked for. So I don't know if she's working with the concierge, but I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. I don't think she's working with the concierge because the conversation alludes to there's somebody that has been wanting to get vengeance against Madam and almost take over the empire, and they've been wanting to sit in that seat for a long time. It doesn't give, she just met concierge and he turned her into a plant for him. It's not giving that. It's giving something a little more long term. But I wonder who that person is. Is it her dad? Who is that person that wants that kind of vengeance against Madam? Also, it seems like a long-standing beef. Not D.A. Davis, not concierge. I don't know who that person could be. Let me know what y'all theories are. I don't have any at the moment. All right, so we see concierge and he's getting a facial and he's assumingly talking to, someone else, and he's giving them stock advice and just kind of chilling. His guard is way down. And of course, Madam's going to turn that chair around and take that towel off his face. And when it is removed, it's Madam. She has a blade to his throat. And, this might be the end of the concierge as we know it. We'll see what happens next week. Well, it's Monday, so this week. Either way, we'll see what happens in the next episode. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about the episode. I did see that Fuego is kind of doing some research and trying to get to the bottom of what really happened to Sandra. I think she should just leave it the hell alone. She dead as hell. I'm sorry. She dead. She's buried. You know the full scope. You don't even know the full reach of what Madam has and what she can facilitate. Just don't go digging too deep in business that ain't yours. Let's just calm down. Everybody just settle down. Either way, that has been season 4, episode 6. Let me know what you think about the episode. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.